Fly belly up.
This is the game. It's cat and mouse.
Smoked a turkey.
Yes. He is down. He is freaking down.
Said he shot an absolute giant.
Fall obsession, baby.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Fall Obsession podcast episode. I'm your host this week, Sam Thrash, and I'm joined today by my co-host, as always, Nick Powell.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
And we got a special guest on the line with us today. He is from Elite Archery in the Outdoor Group. You all may know him from Respect the Game TV, Mr. Larry McCoy. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Man, welcome to the Fall Obsession podcast. We're happy you were able to join us.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, when you called and asked, I was like, heck yeah, let's schedule it.
Absolutely.
Put her down. Put me down.
Yeah, put him down. We're going. So we got a lot that we want to talk with you today about, Larry. But first, before we get going, and it's only fitting, we want to mention that this podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Elite Archery. We're very grateful for our partnership with them, and I know I am absolutely loving my new 2020 Kure. Nick, you're rocking a ritual from last year, so
yeah,
man,
Ritual 35 just acquired.
Yeah, we're very stoked. If you guys get a chance to go check out Elite Archery at your local dealer, please go do so. Take the shootability challenge, put that bow up against any other bow on the market, and I guarantee you're going to be impressed. So
yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. You're right. You know, when you say take the shootability challenge, that's truly what it is. All we want to do is be in the conversation. So. If you go in there looking for a competitor's brand, what's ultimately important is shooters leave with the bow they're comfortable shooting.
Absolutely.
And if we're part of that conversation, it's a win-win for every bow hunter out there.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know we've been really impressed too, because like we're doing a new series right now called Kure Your Obsession, where we're taking two of our guys that are brand new into the archery world, like never bow hunted before or anything, and we got an Elite Kure in their hands. Courtesy of you guys over there, and man, these guys that have never shot before, all of a sudden, like I had one of the guys send me a picture yesterday. He Robin Hooded an arrow. Like, I mean, these guys are freaking drilling it with very minimal experience and high quality equipment. So, I mean, the Kure, you can't beat it, man, in my opinion.
No, that bow. There's so much to talk about when it comes to that system. The Ritual platform is absolutely awesome. There's a different engine there. It has a 2-track cam system, and it performs flawlessly and has a great system. But as we move forward, we wanted to make it easier not only for the dealer, but build a system that was truly customizable to the way you shoot. Everybody talks about shooting form. Well, I can tell you, your form is your form. You can work on your form, but let's correlate to baseball. If everybody had the same form, you'd see every hitter step in the batter's box and have the same stance.
It's true.
But it's just not the case. So being comfortable is what works. Archery is a repetitive sport in every aspect. You got to be able to repeat the process 100% over and over and over and over again, the exact same way. Mm-hmm. So your arrows are hitting the exact same spot. So with that being said, everybody's a little bit different. We're all human. We're creatures of habit. So what happens is I may have a little more grip pressure than you do, Sam, and I may put a little bit more heel pressure and cause a little bit more torque. With this new system, the ASIM tri-track cams and the set technology combined, you can literally customize the way the bow shoots to the way the shooter shoots. So if a guy's getting a real massive left tear in paper because he's torquing his bow, you can literally tune that out without a bow press.
Yeah, and that's what has blown my mind, because I obviously set up mine, and then I've been helping these guys in the video series set up theirs, and I mean I haven't touched a bow press to paper tune these bows, and in 2 to 3 shots we're getting bullet holes, and it's absolutely blowing my mind, because I spent in the past, when I was doing a lot more exclusive bow teching, I would spend hours at times trying to get a bow to tune, and with the Kure, it's the easiest it's ever been. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the set technology, first of all, let's talk about the engine. The ASIM tri-track cams. When you can when we stabilize the whole cam system by putting it, with the tri-track system, you've got a cable on both sides of the cam, so it's super, super stable. With that, we have a 3/4 inch axle. We got a lot bigger, quarter inch axle, which is it's a bigger axle than previous models as well. And cable stop, limb stop options. There's just so many, like I said, you can truly customize the bow to you. The draw length adjustment on the mod goes in 1/4 inch increments, which is unheard of. So you can dial it into the exact draw length. But let's talk what you touched on as far as from the tuning effect, utilizing to the set technology. It's very common. Your listeners out there probably had a broadhead and was like, man, these things fly like crap. I can't get these things to fly. They ain't flying like my field tips. They say it's supposed to hit right with my field tip. Well, part of that is because when you paper tune your bow could be perfectly tuned to paper at 6 feet.
Right.
Also, some of the things that I do, and then and I actually just went through this. I just got back this morning from Arkansas with Nathan Brooks and Darren Christenberry, a couple of our pro archers. We were down there shooting some video and photos for the last couple days. And we were going over and breaking it down as far from the set technology point of view, from the target side, from bare shaft tuning, all the way to broadhead. So at 6 feet, you may be able to get a perfect bullet hole. If you step back another 6 feet, shoot through paper, you may see a slight tear, but you can correct that. Now, when you go back to 20 yards, the correct method, you can broadhead tune these bows so easy. If you've got your field tipper hitting this and you're shooting a fixed blade broadhead and they're hitting 6 inches to the right of where you're at, you can adjust the set technology and really bring your field tips and broadhead together. And then you'll be amazed, feeling like you moved a ton, but when you go back and shoot that arrow through paper again, it'll be a bullet hole. So that bullet hole, that first is a perfect reference, but being able to really fine tune and adjust your equipment will make you that much more successful in the field.
Absolutely.
Because one thing that I've seen common from a lot of bow hunters out there is they grab a pack. Let's face it, broadheads are expensive. $40 a pack in a lot of cases, $50 a pack in some cases. So they'll take one head out and shoot that arrow, shoot that head, and get that head flying good. And then they've never shot and screw it in and go hunting with it.
Right.
And the thing is you got to go through the pack, because you're only as good as your equipment. The set technology and that stuff will only, as long as make sure your arrows are right, make sure, get down to the finite details to make sure that when you grab an arrow out of your quiver, it's flying perfect. And your broadhead, your arrow, compiled with that set technology, is going to make your bow a dream to shoot.
Man, it's never been easier, in my opinion, and I compliment y'all for all the work you put in, and I'm glad we're talking about the set technology, because that was one question I had for you. It's a brand new thing. Nobody else has done it. That and the 1/4 inch draw length increments. What gave you guys the idea to come up with something like that?
It's a funny story. I wish I could take some of the credit for that, but I can't, because it's that awesome. We got a great engineering staff, and if you follow the tournament trail of archery, you probably know who Nathan Brooks is. And we were at ATA 2 years ago, and I was actually rooming with Nathan, and he was talking to me about this concept about having a 2-piece pocket that would pivot, and do this. I'm like, I don't understand what the heck this guy is saying right now. I was like, so they go to Vegas, and they're at the Vegas shoot, and Josh Sidebottom, our COO, is there, and he's kind of talking to Josh about it, and they get out literally a pen and a piece of paper, pencil, and they draw something up real quick, and they go back and implement, and if the response was tremendous, how the bow responded. Because I go back to being able to fix a problem with the bow, you got to know what it's doing.
Right.
And when you don't have a bow that's responding, it's hard to know what to fix. So we were getting really good response out of it, and they just kept dialing in. So this was built for the target platform. Some of the best shooters in the world, to go and do this, not thinking on the hunting platform.
Right.
So I go up to the factory, and we're going to do some filming and take some photos on the result. And I shoot it, and I start messing with it. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing responds so well, and just cleaning up tears. And I was shooting a bow. We were changing the draw length. Tommy Gomez would shoot it, and then we would just pass the same bow around, changing it without even going to a press, and we could get that thing to shoot a bullet hole for every single person.
Wow.
And we're like, wow. And I was like, man, so what's our hunting bow look like? Hopefully it's got this. They're like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, what? What do you mean it doesn't?
Come on now.
I was like, what do you mean it doesn't? And I was like, you know how benefit this is going to be for a bow hunter? I mean, tuning broadheads, being able to adapt and really solve a lot of issues that the common average bow hunter has when they're in their backyard shooting, because you can make some of those adjustments, go right back to where you were, and the bow's going to respond. And that's literally how it happened. They're like, all right, well, let's do it. And then Darren was like, man, we have to have this on the hunting bow. And as you could hear in the launch video of that, you can actually hear the recording of the conference call we were on when Darren said that.
Yeah.
And we, lo and behold, they pulled together and put out that's how the Kure was developed.
Man, I can't compliment y'all enough on it, because it is an absolute game changer, and I know that we got several guys on our staff, including myself, that are running the Kure now this year, and I cannot wait to see what's going to come from it this upcoming fall. It's just it's a game changer. Like I said, I can't believe it. I still can't.
Well, I'll tell you, and too, this is on the show. Early September last year, we started off for Respect Again. We started off in Nebraska, and we had whitetail or mule deer tags, and Ryan and myself, Ryan Hilwiser and myself, was in Nebraska, and literally I went out there with a ritual, did not have a Kure yet, and Josh called me and overnighted a Kure with me, and I have a bow press I keep with me, and because I had to tie a peep in, so I tied a peep in the bow, got it set up, and we made out of the bow box. I went to the little grocery store and got a thing of wax paper and built a paper tuning rack out of the bow box. Cut a square out of it, put an arrow in it, right there in the field, and we paper tuned it, right, and got it going. Went out and got it sighted in, and I was like, all right, Ryan, I'll go film you tonight. So I changed the draw length. Ryan shoots it, and everything's on. He goes out, kills deer with it, and then the next day I change it back. I go out and shoot it one more time, and then I go out and stalk a mule deer and shoot a mule deer with the same bow.
Man, that is absolutely crazy.
That's insane.
Hey, Nick, this year you in Montana, you and I can just take the same bow.
Yeah, we just need one bow.
Yeah, it's I'm telling you, and I was like, that at that point right there, I was like, man, we are on to something here. I mean, this is just such an awesome system to be able to manipulate, the draw length and change the draw length and do kind of everything on the fly. TJ Unger from the Virtue TV calls me from Kansas, and he had a Kure, and he was like, man, I think I'm just when I have it set up, I think I'm just a tad bit short. So we were on FaceTime, and I walked him through real quick, and literally in 6 minutes, he changed the draw length, went over, and was shooting a bullet hole.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's how long the phone call was. That's why I can. That's how long the phone call was. So, but as you can tell, I kind of had the gift of gab, so it may have been a little bit shorter than that. Really, real time. I was probably throwing TJ a little slack here and there too.
man, that's awesome. And the quarter-inch draw length increments. When I heard that this bow had that, it was like, I can't believe nobody's thought of that before. Because when I went out, depending on the bow in years past, normally I'm about a 29-inch draw. I think I've had one bow in my life that fit me a little different, and I was like a 29.5. And I shot the Kure, and I settled myself in at 29.25. And I have never had a bow that felt better. Like it feels like it was meant for me, and it blows my mind that that nobody had thought of that before, and I'm super glad you guys did, because it made it all the more comfortable for me, even just that little bit. I was amazed.
Well, you know what happens too. You're right, and because a big misconception, dealing around bows and working on bows is even guys that are shooting, PSE, Bowtech, Matthews. Just because you're you guys hear that tree frog?
Yeah, we heard it.
Yeah, it's like I got a bay window and that thing is like hidden in there somewhere. I'm gonna have to break out a slick trick.
There you go.
There you go.
Double lunging. But no, the biggest conception that people have, even if they're coming off a PSE or another brand, is I shoot a 29-inch draw. Well, if you go to a different bow, you may have been a 29-inch draw with that bow.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure that we were getting bows that are shooters that were actually getting fitted for that bow correctly. Because if you're comfortable, you're going to shoot better. Bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows. I said it. Archery is a repetitive process, and a lot of people, even myself, if I go out there and I'm chasing myself, chasing some of my mistakes, your confidence goes down, right? So therefore, you're not shooting quite as well as you're capable of.
Right.
But if you get a bow that fits you, just like you said, Sam, you've never had a bow fit you better. You're comfortable. You kept using the word comfortable.
Yes.
If you're comfortable, you're going to shoot better. You're not fighting the backside. Your back end. The bow, when it draws back, boom, it's there, and it's like, wow, I can hold this thing forever.
Mm-hmm.
You just know, and that's the experience we're continuously hearing as it pertains to the Kure.
Yeah, I went out just the other day with my wife to go just shoot some outdoor 3D targets with her, and man, it was clicking. We're all busy guys, so it's always, sometimes it's hard, to get out there and shoot. So that was the first time with my Kure that I had really gotten to go out there and shoot dozens and dozens of arrows, just one after another, like a good day of it. And man, it was just, I was more happy than I think I've ever been shooting a bow. It was awesome.
That's great, man. That's great to hear. And that's what I said, that elite, we're not saying that, I'm here to say we just want to be in the conversation, and I like talking about that because I know the experience. I know a lot of the guys that are shooting a hinge style release or even a thumb button, they want the ability to have a cable stop, because they want just a little bit of cushion on the back to get that release to fire. If they're executing that, properly.
Right.
A lot of guys shooting a wrist strap are going to want the solid back wall with a limb stop.
Mm-hmm.
So, the nice thing is you have best of both worlds. You can choose whichever one you like better, with this bow.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I'll be honest with you. So I went to go set up mine, and I had the box and everything like that, and I left the little bag that it comes with the limb stops. I left it at the house. So I showed up at the bow shop to set it up, and I was like, well, I was gonna compare them, see which one I like. I shoot a thumb release. And I said, well, I guess I'll just set it up for now with the cable stops, and if I want to compare it later, I can, and I ain't going back. I mean,
right? Yeah,
it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, and we hear that a lot because, and one reason why it's really when people think of cable stops, you feel kind of a really squishy back wall, but because of the surface of our cable stop. It's a little more, I feel like anyway, in my opinion, through my experience, it feels a little bit more solid, like you just have just enough give, just enough. It's not like too much, but it's just enough to really, once you get your release set to where you want it from a trigger travel and tension point of view, you can get into that back wall as much as you really want, and the release is just going to go when you want it to.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like it's because of the surface area on the cable stop itself, on the Kure and the Result. It's got a little bit bigger surface area, so you're covering more of the cable when it hits, versus just one little peg coming down and hitting that to where it's got one single point and it's giving more.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's awesome.
We also came out with another bow at the ATA show as well. It's a best-in-class product at a super affordable price, and that's the Ember. And I could tell you that this spring I turkey hunted. Every turkey I shot with the Ember.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that because it's not just a used or women's bow. The bow goes from 15 to 29 inches and goes up to 60 pounds.
Right.
And I turkey hunted with it this year, and I tell you what, I was like, man, this little dude is a screamer. It shoots. I mean, it shoots. The bow is easy to set up, and like a lot of the other flagship models, it also has the ability to put limb stops on, which is huge because a lot of the other bows in that price point, in that range price, they don't. It's just a cable stop. So the back wall, when say if you are taking a kid and it's his first bow or her first bow, it's important that they experience what the back end of that draw cycle feels like. It's going to allow them to start their process, training their minds to be consistent from an anchor point to be able to aim. When you can put the limb stops on there and they stop and they can feel it's got more solid, and it's not going to be, when it's set at 25 inches, it's not going to be 25 3/4 and they're pulling 3/4 inch past the draw.
Yeah, man, that's huge because I know in my past line of work when I worked at a bow shop, it was, I'd set up kids with their first bows, and the poundage is low so that they can get started and all that. And with the cable stops, like you said, they're pulling past their draw length. You look at it and the draw weight's so light that their stops are pushing the cable, at an angle.
Yep.
And
Yep.
And like you said, I'm very impressed that bow has those limb stops, because I'll second everything you just said with it being a better bow for people to get started and create those good habits early on. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to, like I said, I turkey hunted with it because I'm a hunter. I love archery, but my soul breathes, being in the woods and being out there chasing critters. And I can tell you this much: I'll take it to the woods anytime. The bow performance flawlessly. If people out there looking for a bow on a budget, it's a best-in-class product. It has stainless steel bearings. It has machine pockets, aluminum pockets. So the stability and everything is there. It's just coming at you at a really great price. I mean, it truly is. And it's been performing well. We get a lot of good positive feedback on the Ember as well. So, but while we were talking about the bows, I want to bring that bow up because, let's just face it. Things are expensive. The Kure, coming in close to $1,000 bear, you can get a setup Ember for that. I mean, if that's more in your price range, you're not going to be disappointed.
yeah,
You're going to be getting something that's worth your money.
absolutely.
It's going to be a good quality product.
No, I think we're going to see not only a lot of guys happy with the Kure this year, but also some guys happy with that Ember for sure. Guys and gals alike. So for sure.
Yeah. So, and we got some, I can't spill the beans, but we got some really cool stuff in the works that I've been, myself and our team have been running through the ringer that I'm super excited about as well. It's really, really cool to see some of this stuff come to fruition. A lot of the work and ideas, and that's one thing I can say about up at the outdoor group and Elite. Some of our pro shooters, Nathan Brooks, and they're a wealth of knowledge. I mean, that's what they do is they breathe archery, and when it comes to all the way down to what screw to use, it's pretty impressive, and to see a lot of these ideas come to fruition, everybody working together, and also from our users, from our customers, and just the average hunter out there. It's important that we're building stuff that they're comfortable with, that they can use, and it be more effective to make them be more successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, I know we can talk bows and all the technical stuff. We could talk for a long time about that, but man, while we got you on the line, I want to talk some hunting too. So, what you got coming up this fall? It's going to be taking up your time.
Well, this fall, I'm going to be doing Nebraska again, possibly a South Dakota trip. two that just come to play, depending on where all this what's going on in our world, lands, I guess. But right now, we've got Nebraska's we're going to be kicking off in early September, and the following week probably try to see if we can't chase a deer in Nebraska, and then I did draw a Montana tag again, and did get put in for my antelope tag. So we'll see about that. So I'll definitely do in Montana, and as we get closer to the rut, I'll probably come back home and see what I can get done around here, and then after that, it's just a matter of really drew a Kansas tag as well, so I'll be in Kansas. So yeah, we're going to be traveling around. We're going to be producing some good stuff. Anybody that watches our show knows that we're not one of those 3 o'clock hunters. Hey, we got a deer showing up at 3 o'clock, so you better be here. We want to go out. We're going to go out there and we're going to put the time in. We're going to hang our stands, set our blinds up. We're going to glass. We may do more scouting than we do hunting, but that's what makes it awesome. And every trip's not successful. It's from a harvest perspective. But like I said, we're all creatures of habit, and every single place that we go, I'll take something out of. I learn from it because and try to implement it in different areas. It's like hunting, hunting southern Missouri versus northern Missouri, two totally different animals. You've got acres and acres of nothing but ridges and timber down in southern Missouri, and then you go up north and it's wide open, waterways and ridge that filters out to some fields. And people say that there's not big deer down southern Missouri or Arkansas and all that. Well, they're there. They're just harder to hunt.
Yeah.
They're just not as visible. And I'm a firm believer in that. And it's really about, so I try to learn, and as does our whole team. I love to talk hunting and try to learn from people as well, because, us having a TV show doesn't mean jack diddly squat, to your listeners. What it means is, we just happen to have somebody there following us around with a camera. There's people out there that may kill bigger deer, more deer, whatever. And I'm the first one to go up and high five. And I want to make sure that, we can bring our experiences to people. And, but I want to hear from our viewers as well. I want to know their experience. I want to hear the story. I want to, I call people all the time, hey, I'll give them my phone number. They'll call me. What? I was like, man, I just want to hear a story about your deer. I think it was awesome. It's the biggest deer you ever shot,
Yeah.
Because there might be a little piece of something in there that not only that I can learn from. And to me, I want to make sure that we carry that on so our industry grows. And if I can learn from it, and if I can share through some of the seminars, called deer calling seminars and stuff we've done, I ask to hear somebody else's stories. I tell them mine. I usually have video content, show them this is what I did to make something work. And, I'm not saying this is something you could try, but now I want to learn something from you. And it takes a lot of people back but it's true. We're all in this together. I eat deer. My freezer's I've been cooking back straps since we've been on quarantine. I'll tell you what, Tommy like wings. That's all I got to say.
Man, this whole quarantine thing, it definitely makes me want to try to put a couple more in that freezer for next year. You never know what's going to happen, man.
Absolutely. So, that's what I said. I ain't afraid to sink my teeth in the back strap. I can promise you that. So,
Heck no.
but no, and so that's pretty much what the plan is. But I just want to throw that in there because people can perceive TV shows as, being, they go out and do this. I could tell you it's work. There's times when I've spent 16, 17, 18 days trying to produce an episode to get something done, make something happen. And through all that, we may have, 150 hours of footage, but we can only show you 22 minutes of it in our episode. Man, that's the glorious thing about the digital platforms.
Yes.
Right? Now I can break that up and I can share those experiences with you, or we can from the respected game side and also, the follow just like you guys are doing, which is it's fabulous. I love that. The fact and I keep up with everybody's stuff. I try to anyway.
Yeah.
When time allows, because dude, I love it. I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of other people that are out there too. That's why it's important to continue to share it with one another.
I know. Yeah, the whole production side, man. It adds another element to it, as you know, and we have. I know. We don't have anything to the scale that y'all do as far as like a TV show, but we have a show online and that kind of stuff, and I can attest to that. Especially last year, we had a hunt where we were out there in Montana for a week trying to get it done on BLM land, and it wasn't happening, and yet we still made a show out of it. Still had hours of footage to go through, and yeah, it's work.
Absolutely.
I know Nick.
It is by the time you get back to camp, you log your footage, you do all that. It's late nights, early mornings.
Yeah.
And it'll wear on you for a while. And
yeah, I know that you Nick can probably attest to that too, because you not only have the company stuff to work with, but you also have all of our staffers' contributions and stuff to go through too. Yeah. So yeah, it keeps you busy, Larry. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, and I like to, I just share that. I'm open about it with people because, like I said, I'm a hunter at heart. And we're just fortunate that we can document it. And really, how I got started into it was a show called Heartland Bowhunter. Jeff Simpson and myself, we started that show. Oh, it was a while back. The first 2 or 3 seasons with that. Then Mike and Sean came on. They're good buddies of mine. They're still on Heartland Bowhunter, and but that's kind of we were just filming for ourselves. We wanted to just go back and relive it because we were passionate about it.
Yeah.
So we'd go back and watch it. We could show our kids one day. We could, and it just kind of evolved to that. Me and Jeff were like, well, let's try to see what we can do. About filming our hunts and all that. So we started filming. I went out and filmed him shoot a turkey with his bow, and next thing you know, we had a show called American Outdoorsman. I wanted to use our footage, and we started looking at the camera stuff and camera gear. So we were like, man, we looked at all these different tree arms, and we started kind of designing our own tree arm. So we started a tree arm. We started selling this big commercial tree arm that a lot of the shows were Primos, HS, a lot of these big companies were getting from us at the time. And I mean, I walked into the first ATA show literally with a log over my shoulder. I cut down the night before. Literally, I mean, we were just scraping. We started at the bottom and we just kind of earned our stripes, I guess. And the tree arm went over well. And then a company called Elite Archery had contacted us way back in the day. Yeah. and they were actually the first company that kind of invested into where we were going. And so that's how I landed here. And when I parted ways with Heartland Bowhunter, everything's good. Those are all great guys. We're still good buddies, and they do great production over there as well. And we just, I just stayed with Elite because that's kind of where we were. And I was freelance videoing for everybody after that. I mean, I worked for Sub 7, worked for Orion. I mean, I did a lot of stuff. Worked in Nashville, filming some country singing music videos and stuff, doing a few concerts here and there and stuff like that. And then they asked about producing a show and another show. So that's how Respect the Game was kind of born. And we started that, and we're going on our 10th season now. So we're on our 10th season. So
that's awesome.
It's been pretty blessed to have all that come together, and I've been blessed to be able to experience a lot, meet a lot of great people out there, great, hunters, outdoor enthusiasts, and people of that nature. And everything I know I've learned from other people pretty much. I mean, I learned from myself being out there as well, but I love to hear the stories and because I like to remember those and try new things and stuff. That's the only way if the stuff works. So.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome, and I'm glad. I thank you for shedding some light on that too, and kind of your journey through it all, because I know, for me personally, and I'm sure our listeners too, that they love to hear that. They love to hear how guys like you got to where you are, and it is far from something being handed to you. It is all hard work and dedication and perseverance for sure, 100%. So that's awesome.
Absolutely, and it's on social media these days. It's awesome to see, a lot of the young guys coming up, that are that just have the interest. How do you get started? I get a lot of those messages through Instagram and Facebook, and what does it take and to do this and that, and and I'm honest with them about that. And if there's anything that I could shed, is be you,
Yeah.
just because there's be you, if you're a photographer, get inspiration from the people that you're following, from the people that man, that's a cool photo. Then go out and be you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be you. Express yourself through that lens and have your own style. Create your own style. That's how you're going to create value, and people gravitate to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I could not agree more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Larry,
So
I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to take up too much of your day here, but we do have some quick questions that we like to ask guests that come on our podcast before we wrap it up.
Yep.
And the first one is, I know you've hunted a lot of places and done a lot of cool stuff, but what's your favorite memory? What's one hunting memory that really stands out to you, brother?
Probably Argentina stag hunt. It was a free range hunt. It was a free range opportunity down there to hunt stag, and just because of number one, the culture, the people down there, everything was 100% organic. The terrain was somewhat challenging, but it was it was just a really cool experience. Being able to see all of that and really break down a plan to try to make it happen and execute that plan to make and get it done. We had a lot of failed stalks. We had a lot of stuff that we were learning along the way based on how to maneuver the terrain. What were these animals keying in on the most, and we were able to literally capitalize based upon every day we were getting a little bit better and better. So that's probably one. And I was also able to that's the only place in the world where a Pierre's David deer is free range. There after they were in, and they only issue 5 tags a year in Argentina for that. Well, when I was there, I had the honor. They had I was limited on the caliber of Pierre's David I could try to go after, and the that we were on was 86,000 acres, and there was literally, we were looking for some pictures that we saw through a spotting scope of a couple Pierre's David deer that was taken earlier in the year that needed to be culled out of the herd.
Uh-huh.
So I just, whether I shot one or not, it was just fun going out and we ended up finding one of those stags, and was able to put a successful stock on him, and I was able to take that animal, which is pretty memorable because it's a pretty historic animal. If you want to research that particular animal from being originating in China and being shot out of extinction and stuff, and how they were reintroduced, it was a pretty awesome moment for me.
Yeah, man, that is crazy.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research on them
For sure.
So, Larry, another question we have for you. I know, just like Sam said, I know you've hunted a lot of animals, a lot of places, but is there a bucket list hunt out there that you haven't got to do yet?
Yeah, probably. I filmed a couple of these. There's actually a couple, there's a social media post I actually said, that asked about bucket list. And I said, my bucket can get pretty full. It's pretty deep.
You got a big bucket.
yeah.
Don't we all?
But a Yukon moose, and I filmed some moose hunts up in the Yukon in the past, and it's just something I would love to go up and experience, with a bow in my hand as well. Although I have experience, like I said, with behind the lens, and also a stone sheep.
Oh yeah.
I've been on a stone sheep hunt behind the lens, but we would get close. It's just a challenging hunt that I feel like I would really like to do, just because of, not only just because of the elements, just because I think of the challenge involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to do it with an elite bow too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No
You have
other
to stretch
choice.
one out there. You
Yeah.
have to stretch one out, but yeah. But yeah.
Absolutely.
So Yeah, but I would say those two would probably be on top of my list.
Awesome.
Man, those are a good two to have for sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure those are somewhere on Nick and I's list as well.
For sure.
Those are some dream hunts right there. Man, so kind of as we wrap up, one of the last questions I have for you. As you know, we got this series right now for new bow hunters called Kure Your Obsession. I wanted to ask you if you had to give one piece of big advice to a new bow hunter, what would it be?
Keep learning. Keep learning. Things will go well, and then you're going to fall, and then you're going to create a bad habit. And it's continuously pushing, being willing to listen to other people, being able to, because if I go out there and know yourself, I mean, there's what I mean by that is learn when you're executing a good shot, when you don't execute a good shot, because then a lot of people don't know the difference because they don't think about it. They just go out and shoot their bow.
Right.
So when you can break it down to that level, you're going to continuously get better. You can form bad habits, but be able to accept that and figure out how to fix it, because it's going to make you better and prevent it from happening again.
Absolutely. Very good advice.
Yeah.
Well, Larry, I really appreciate you joining us. Like I said, brother. And before I hang it up, I know you're probably not going to spill the beans to us, but I have to ask, any way we can get a hint on what Elite's working on for 2021?
Is there a lot of recurve shooters out there? Just kidding.
There's an awkward pause over here. We were looking at each other like, what?
We might be after Elite brings something out.
That may not be out of the realm of possibility.
All right. We'll take it.
But no, we got a lot of really good things. Obviously, I can't say what they are. Some really cool things in the works, and we've been testing some stuff that's I think people are going to like. It benefits the bow hunter, just the archer in general, all the way across a lot of the different brands as well. So, I mean, I'm super happy with our team. We've got a factory of bow hunters and shooters. So I tell people this all the time. I only get to go to the factory every so often, but because I work remotely, and every time I go up there, I'm amazed by people. You go up there, you see people in the break room showing trail cam photos of stuff, and everybody's talking archery. Awesome. And I mean, on breaks, they can go over and shoot in the range. They have league work at the range. They can go out back in the summertime and shoot some 3D targets on their breaks or whatever. So,
dang.
Man, I want to come work for y'all.
No kidding.
So it's a very archery culture, and we just got a great team. And super happy to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited to see what's in store for sure.
Absolutely.
We're looking forward to it. So, Larry, thank you very much for joining us, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day once again.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate you guys and everything y'all do. And, I'm going to keep tabs on this series from Fall Obsession. And, I mean, we're going to be along for the journey as well.
Absolutely. We're happy to have y'all joining us. Well, guys, thank you all for tuning in to another Fall Obsession podcast episode. If you have not already, please go to social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow Fall Obsession, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow this podcast. We got a new podcast coming out every week, and people like Larry are coming on board and join us as special guests. So a lot of good stuff coming up that you guys are not going to want to miss. And go check out Elite Archery. Follow them on social media, and like we said at the beginning, go to your local dealer and check one out and see what you think. I promise that you will not be disappointed. It'll be worth your time for sure. So, Larry, thank you again, sir. I appreciate it. Nick, thank you again for teaming up with me once again.
Anytime.
All right, and we will catch you guys next week on another Fall Obsession podcast episode. We'll catch you later.
See you later.